Is good morning students, continuation with the previous one, that is the internetworking here. Okay, so we are going to see about that the service model. Okay, so a good place to start when you are going to build an internet network is to define its a service model. That is the how the host to host service you wanted to provide. Is it clear how one host should be able to communicate with the other host, whatever the service model you are going to be defining. So as you know that already we have studied about, we are going to using the IP service model. Is it clear? So already I have explained in the networking, IP is going to you having a two parts. One is the addressing scheme, that it is going to assign an IP address for all the nodes which are presented in the network. Either it may be the host or either it may be the in between routers and all. Each one they are going to assigning the IP address. Okay, so it is going to use to identify all the hosts which are present in the network. So it is a unique address it is going to be assigned. And the next one is the datagram model, or you are going to be call it as it is a connectionless approach of a data delivery. Okay, so this service model is sometimes called the best effort, because through IP makes every effort to deliver the datagrams. Okay, but it will not going to give you any guarantee of the delivery of the data. So that's why they are written, it makes no guarantees. Okay, so that is a datagram delivery. Before transmitting, you are not going to establishing any particular uh, that is the connection before, prior to the transmission. Okay, that is the thing which you are going to do in the connection oriented. So every datagram here, it is carrying the enough information. So whenever the packet is going to be arrived, the network is going to see the header on that, enough information is presented. Based on that, simply it is going to forward that packet on the right direction to reach to the destination. Okay, so here that does not make any attempt to recover from the failure. Okay, it is not going to retransfer these particular packets once again. So this is the normal datagram delivery already, which you people have seen it in the switching and forwarding over there. That is the normal datagram delivery. So here we are going to see about the packet or the format. Okay, so that is the IP packet here, which is used to forward the information from one host to another host. The IP packet format here, which we are going to see, this is the IP, the packet here. So here you are going to see about that different fields are going to be presented. So what is the length of this particular header? If you are going to see how many words are there, so basically in general we are going to consider only 5 words. Okay, so that is the first word contains version, header length, type of the service and the length. And the second word is going to be contain the indent, flags and the offset. Third word is going to contain the TTL protocol checksum. Fourth word is going to contain the source address. Fifth word is going to contain the destination address. So the next one is optional. Is it clear? If they want, they can use, otherwise they can leave it. So in generally we are going to use 5 words. So 5 words means how many number of bytes are there? Each word is of 4 bytes. So 5 words means 5 4 20. So 20 bytes. 20 bytes is header of that particular IP packet, and below inside, that is at the end of that, you are going to attach the data here which you wanted to the transfer. Now if you are going to see the first word. Okay, so each word is of 32 bits are there. The first one is going to be representing the version. So here the version is going to be representing which version of IP packet you are going to use. So you are having a two versions, IP version 4 and a version 6. So this is the format of the IP version 4. It is going to give the information, that is the version 4. H length is nothing but it is going to give the information of the header length. Okay, it is going to give the information of the complete this header, the length. Okay, so here they are going to say that okay, header length specifies the length of the header in the 32-bit words. Okay, so it is going to specify the length of the header in 32 bits words. So as I already told, so totally how many words are there? Header is of 5 words, so it is a 20 bytes long. The next one is a TOS is going to be representing the type of service. 8-bit is used to represent the TOS type of the service. Okay, so it is one of the basic function. So it is used to allow the packets to be treated. So in between the routers and all, they have to forward this particular packet. In which way they have to treat this particular packet? Is it clear? It is going to be representing the type of the service. So based on the information present over there, these packets are to be treated differently based on the application needed. The next one is 16 the bits of the header containing the length of the datagram, including the header. Is it clear? So this is here which you are going to be call it as the HLEN field. So here the length field counts the bytes rather than the words. The maximum size of an IP datagram is 65,535 bytes, that is including the header. Is it clear? So this is here, that is a length. This length field is going to give you the information. Okay, so it is going to give you the information, that is the complete length. It is including the header here. What is the maximum here? The maximum length is 65,535 including the header and the data. If you want to transfer, this is the maximum. The second one here, it is the indent flags and the offsets. So this indent flag and offsets are going to be used for the fragmentation and reassembly. So whenever you are having a larger size of packets are there, and in between the different networks are going to be presented. Okay, if these networks are not having the capacity to carry this larger the packet, at that time what they are going to do, they are going to break this particular packet into the smaller the maximum carrying capacity. According to that, they are going to break it. Okay, that is the maximum the transmittable unit, they are going to break it, and then each one is going to contain the header, and in that it is going to contain the information, that is the indent flags and the offset, which is used on the destination side to use this information to reassemble these particular the fragments. Is it clear? So to make it as a one complete packet on the receiver side. So for that fragmentation and reassembly, you are going to use these fields, indent, flags and offset. TTL is used to represent a time to live. This is nothing but it is going to give the lifetime of this particular packet. Whenever the packet is created by the router, is it clear? So that packet will be thrown into the network. If you are not having a lifetime, that packet will be continuously circulating in the network. So for that, so there should be a lifetime, that after that particular time period, the packet should be die. So what you mean by die is that once its living time period is over, so the router in between is not going to forward this packet, simply they is going to remove it and it is going to destroy the packet. So that is what you are going to call it as a TTL or a time to live. So each router, whenever it is going to receive this particular packet, it is going to be decrementing the value 1. So if you are going to be representing the say for example, if you take it as a number of seconds will be given, that value is going to be given, that the value, every time that value is going to be decremented by 1, every time that value will be TTL value will be decremented by 1 by the each router. So when within that the value becomes 0, the packet has to reach the destination. Is it clear? If the TTL time becomes 0, the router is going to not forward this, because the lifetime of this packet is completed, it is going to remove it and it is going to destroy. The protocol information is going to give you the information that the data which you are going to be carrying to which higher layer protocols this particular data belongs to. So that information is going to be presented in this particular the protocol, that is the D multiplex key is going to be presented in this to identify that to whom this particular data has to be delivered at this upper layer protocol, to the TCP, UDP or to upper layer. Checksum is used to identify, that is used to internet checksum algorithm. So here the complete address is going to be used. Okay, and the 16-bit word it is going to created. Is it clear? It is going to back up into the 16-bit words, and then using that internet checksum algorithm, it is going to generate the checksum value. Already you people know about that, what you mean by checksum algorithm and all. Okay, so here it is the checksum value. The next one is the source address and last one is the destination address. The 32 bits is used to represent the source address, that is the sender, and the 32 bits IP address is used to represent a destination address, and this is the option variable. If you want any other information in the header, so if you want you can attach it. Okay, at the end is the data which you are going to attach. So this is all about this particular the IP packet here which you are going to transfer. Now we are going to see about this the fragmentation and the reassembly, as I have already explained about there. Say for example H1 to H8 you are going to transmitting that already you know about that ETH. This is the frame format, Ethernet frame. Inside that IP datagram is encapsulated. So this is the IP is the IP header, and the data here it is going to be attached. So what is the maximum carrying capacity of this Ethernet frame format? So here it is data is of 1400. Is it clear? So IP it is the size is What is the length? 1400. Now it is going to received by the R1. R1 to R2 is the FDDI is there. So it's FDDI, fiber distributed data interface, as you know that so they are having a larger capacity, no problem. It is going to carry this particular IP packet, so completely encapsulated inside the FDDI, and then it is going to be transmitted to the R2. Now R2 to R3 is the PPP frame format will be there, point to point link will be there. The maximum carrying capacity of the PPP is 512 bytes, but the IP datagram is of 1400. A frame cannot carry a larger datagram or the IP packet. So for that, what it is going to do? It is going for fragmentation. Okay, so what is the maximum carrying capacity? 512 bytes. Based on that, it is going to divide. So 3 fragments are going to be made: 512, 512, 376. Each fragment is having the header here, IP header, okay, which is present on the original packet. The same header is going to be attached for all these, contains all the information on this particular header, source address, destination address, all information. Along with that, additional information is going to be presented here. That is, as you know that the second one here, the information, that is the indent will be there. The indent here, you are going to use some value, that is a unique value, the identifier you are going to use. So this value is used to identify that whenever the receiver is going to receiving these particular fragments, based on this the unique ID, it knows that okay, these are all the fragments belonging to the same packet. Based on the identifier, it is going to identify all these, and then it is going to reassemble. Okay, so now here it is that there is a one of the flag here they have written here, it is a 1. So what it indicates in here, it is that still further other fragments are also there of this particular the packet. Okay, so this is the information will be given to the receiver when this fragment is going to be received here. Okay, so when this field is set to 1, the receiver knows that still other fragments are also there. Okay, so continuously then it is going to waiting for the other fragment, and initially the offset will be set to 0. Okay, so now you are having the rest of the header, and the data you have fragmented according to the maximum carrying capacity, that's a 512 bytes maximum transmittable unit. Now next one, the fragment here, when you are going to be transmitting, at that time also you are going to say giving the same identifier to identify this is also fragment belongs to the same packet. And here also you are going to setting the 1, because still you are having a one more fragment is there, so receiver should know that information. Offset will be set to 64. Okay, so here offset they are going to setting to 64, that is why you are going to set to 64. So here they are going to do that. Okay, so here it is that the data carried in the second fragments start with the 513th byte of the original data. So the offset field in this header is set to 64. Is it clear? So which is 512 divided by 8. So this is the information here which they are going to give, that the first fragment starting the data from the 0th byte, and the second fragment where the data is going to be started from the offset, that is the 64. 60 from the 64th byte the data is going to be presented, and in the next one 64 plus 64, that is it is going to be start the data from 128th byte. Is it clear? So this is the information will be given to the receiver. Okay, so at the last one here, the fragment here, the flag is set to 0, indicating that there is no further fragments of this particular the packet. This is the last fragment. Okay, so when all the fragments are going to be received by the receiver, so it is going to reassemble this based on the ID, okay, and based on the offset which is going to be presented. So which is the first, second and the third, based on that it is going to identify, and then it is going to reassemble. Okay, so this is all about the fragmentation and the reassembly of the datagrams. Okay, thank you very much.